All right, good morning and welcome to the stock market update. It is Monday, March 28th, and we will talk about the top 5 things that are moving the markets. Plus, we will show you our current positions and last week's trades that we did. But before we dive in and do all this, if this is your first time here, hi, I'm Markus Heitkoetter. This is my head coach, Mark Hodge, and together we have more than 47 years of trading experience. And every morning we sift through a mountain of news websites, newsletters, and reports, and then we take the most important news, condense them down, and go live right here to share with you what you need to know as you head into your trading day. If this is your first time here, I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, we have a special video just for you that I will link to in the description, and that's a great place to get started. All right, Mark, let's take a look at the markets. But before we do this, happy birthday! It's your birthday today! Hey! Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcus.
Thanks for
Yeah,
being here with us this morning on your birthday. I have something
of
special coming for
course.
you. Should be there this
Would
afternoon.
wouldn't want to be any other place.
All right. Okay. So, the markets. I brought the S&P 500 up, and last week, good week for the S&P, right?
It was. I mean, gosh, the markets just keep plugging along. The Dow and S&P up on Friday, closing out the week with a winner. The S&P up 0.5%, erasing its losses since Russia invaded Ukraine in late February. So we've made up for that dip. The Dow up 0.4% and finishing higher. So it's just plugging along, just making a lot of headway. The Nasdaq was down, actually, I believe, just a little bit, down 22 points.
Yeah, but you see, this looks so innocent, the move here, because we're trying to make back ground. But this here is actually an 8% move.
Oh, sure.
Actually, yeah. If I'm going here from the low, actually, it's a 12% move here. So it's quite substantial what we have seen here over the past few weeks. So let's talk about what is moving the markets here right now. I mean, of course, we still have the Russia-Ukraine war in focus. So did you see the latest? What's happening there?
Yeah, Ukrainian and Russian negotiating teams are planning to meet in Turkey this week with differences still being worked out, with terms for a potential ceasefire deal on the table. Ukraine's president on Sunday said his country was prepared to consider neutrality while offering Russian security guarantees, but the two leaders would have to meet in person.
And I know that this neutrality is one of the sticky points. So as he was signaling, you know what? We might consider this as long as we remain sovereignty and we are still our own country and not part of Russia. We're good. So, I mean, there could be that this week we will see some progress in these peace talks. I think this week, based on what I'm seeing here, that's kind of the most hopeful that there might be some progress in this conflict. And yeah, markets seem to like it. And then also, another thing that is moving the markets. I mean, economic reports, because I mean it sounds horrible, but traders have a very short attention span, and the war has been raging now for over a month, and this is where traders often say, okay, what else is there, right? And this is where the focus right now is also a little bit split, not only looking at what is happening in Ukraine, but also what is going on here in terms of economic reports. And we have a really, really interesting week. Super light today, no economic reports on the calendar this week today, but we have a few big ones coming up this week.
Yeah, the focus this week is on jobs. Jolt's job openings on Tuesday. This is something that was really kind of created for the Fed a while back, but the real biggies, ADP non-farm employment numbers on Wednesday. This is kind of a sneak peek to the real focus and the real attention, which will be on Friday. The jobs report, the monthly jobs report, always the first Friday of the month, with average hourly earnings, non farm employment change, and the unemployment rate being reported.
Right. So this will be the big focus this week. And to get a better idea of what the Fed will be doing. And I mean, last week, Powell already said that he is prepared to raise interest rates by 0.5% on the next meeting. That is on May 4th. And of course, this week's jobs report will give us a better idea of, is he going to do this? Is the Fed going to do this or not? Right now, the markets are factoring a 71% chance that on the next meeting, the Fed will raise interest rates by 0.5 percentage point, which is the first time since when, 2008, that they did it, that they hiked it by half
So
a percent instead of 0.25%.
I believe so, and the Fed is expected to raise rates at each of its next meetings here. It's just by how much. Will we do a quarter point? Will we do a half point? They do have the possibility of doing emergency meetings and raising in between, but that doesn't seem to be the case unless something crazy happens. But the half point is definitely on the table, and traders are pricing it in now.
Yeah, but we'll see because the Fed has the dual mandate, low inflation and low unemployment. So this week, with being a big jobs report, we will see what they do because they have to keep an eye on both. But right now, definitely the focus is inflation. So another thing that traders are focusing on is crude oil. I mean, crude oil over the past few weeks has gone crazy. I mean, went up from around $90 to $130, retraced all the way back to $95. Then last week, again on the rise, but right now moving lower. And I mean, crude oil prices will actually affect inflation, of course. And there's a reason why we have the CPI data and the core CPI. So for the core CPI, the consumer price index, crude oil or the prices of energy is actually being taken out because it's so volatile here, right?
Yeah, I mean, these are some huge swings for crude oil and for a commodity, and I mean we've seen that in general. Marcus, you mentioned that traders have short term attention spans, and it's absolutely true. There's also the fact that no matter how unfortunate the situation is in Ukraine, that war doesn't have a huge impact on the U.S. markets. However, energy is a bigger player there, so energy does have an impact on US markets, and crude oil futures now down because of a Shanghai lockdown.
All right. So let's talk about this. I mean, even Tesla has to halt Shanghai factory because, yeah, China is shutting down Shanghai or parts of Shanghai for a few days.
Yeah, so experiencing the biggest outbreak of COVID, right? And so the lockdown will move to the other half of the city for an additional 4 days after the first 4 days, and oil prices with less demand potentially impacting uh, crude oil,
Yeah.
uh, crude oil down.
I just brought up the COVID case. I mean, here's what happened in the US over the past 6 months, and we had the Omicron variant that was raging. But then it seems that right now cases are really low, no uptick to see here. But then on the other hand, if we look at China, a completely different picture. As you can see, it was rather low. The Omicron variant really not having much of an impact. But right now, cases are rising, and China has vowed to say, okay, we're going to lock down here and we get this under control. Because also, if you look back here over just all time, we see that China had a huge problem in the beginning, but then pretty much throughout all the pandemic, very low cases. Not the same spikes that we saw here in the United States, where we had all these different variants, right? So we had the initial crisis, and then we had the Delta variant that was coming in, and then we had the Omicron variant. So a completely different picture here. And so again, how does this affect crude oil prices? Well, China is the largest importer of crude oil. And if Tesla has to shut down its factory, other companies have to shut down too. So there's less demand, and this is why we see crude oil prices falling here.
Exactly.
All right. Now, before we take a look at our positions and what we did last week, I got to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of has been sneaking up there and is right now at the best levels of the year. I mean, it's making a new high for the year. So if you see this, we are right now trading at 47,000, and that's a little bit. We haven't talked about Bitcoin a lot recently because it was rather quiet, but here now Bitcoin trading at highest levels for the year.
Yeah, interesting to see us just breaking outside of this range. We had that range for a while, and now breaking to the upside. Is 50,000 Bitcoin in the future this
Yeah.
week? We'll see.
Very similar picture for Ethereum, not yet at the highs of the year, still down for the year, but just getting there. Let's say so. Year to date, Ethereum is still down 9%. Bitcoin, on the other hand, year to date now up 2.3%. So cryptocurrencies are coming back. Okay, let's talk about our trades. So I'm jumping over here to PowerX Optimizer, and I brought up the first one. So ARCF is one of the trades that I'm in. You're not in ARCF. I flew a rescue mission here. So not much to do right now. We did have some nice moves here last week after also moving lower here. Right now trading, where are we right now? So around 29, and we have some nice pre-market moves here. So this should be good. The other one, LVS. So we both have a position in LVS. And this has been fun to play with. Also, over the past 2 weeks, has been moving lower, but right now moving back towards our cost basis. So maybe sometime this week we can sell some more calls, and we already collected a lot in premium here on LVS, right?
Yeah, this one we've been in for a while, and it's nice to see that it's getting, it created this lower range, and then went through that week 2 weeks ago. Now back at the upper part of that range, so I'd like to see it drift back up towards 45.
Yeah. All right. Then, right. Not much to do there. Said it, nothing to do there for now. Had a pretty good couple of weeks here coming out of the basement. So we'll see if they can hold above 3 and hopefully move higher. So nothing here there yet to do. Now, then we had quite a few positions getting called away because this is where we completed the wheel, which is actually perfect. So if you're looking here at ADI, we started this wheel cycle on January 18th, and then on Friday, March 25th, it got called away. And this is pretty much in line with our average holding time. Usually it's like 25 days. So this was here slightly longer, collected almost $10,000 in premium. But now, kind of a little bit sad. It got called away. The wheel cycle is completed. So we got to start a new one here.
Yeah, and just for anybody new to the wheel, starts by selling puts. Then, if you do get a sign on those puts, selling calls. We were able to sell calls on this one for a while. Sometimes people who are new to the wheel and selling calls, and what happens if we own shares of the stock and sell calls against that stock, and then the stock trades and closes above the strike that we sold calls on, then our shares are taken away. And so that's fine. It's part of the process. It frees up buying power. Now we have more buying power that we could put on, put towards another trade. We'll be looking for new trades this week, and who knows? Maybe ADI drops a little bit, and we could reassess and reestablish a new position.
Yeah, and if you want to see more videos, we'll link to it in the description and also at the end of the video. So this way you can get more familiar with the wheel and the trading strategies that we use. BAC, Bank of America. Oh, this already got called away last week. What was the other
Yeah,
one that we got called away? Uh,
UAL,
which one?
the old TPR for you and UAL for both of us.
Yeah. TPR, that's also one. We entered this on March 1st, sold the 37 level, and collected just shy of $5,000 in premium here, a little bit over 4,000. I think I collected some more last week. I need to update this. So here, a little bit of shorter cycle, but definitely completed the cycle. Sold puts, got assigned, sold calls, got called away. That's exactly what the wheel is, and now we are starting it over. And then, United Airlines, I'm also a little bit sad that we got called away there. So this is also a little bit of a shorter trade. So February 28th entered, March 25th. This is pretty much exactly our 25 days, right? So, which is our average. So sold the 40 puts, got assigned, sold calls against this, collected around $8,000 in premium here. So this worked out really well. And then the trade that we took last week is DKS, Dick's Sporting Good. I haven't updated it yet. Which one did we sell? Let me just update it here real quick.
Yeah, we sold the 100 put.
Okay, so here what we did, let me just put the line in here. So we sold the 100 put sold 100 put expiring on April 1st. This will be this week. So we'll see if DKS stays above this. We just keep the premium by Friday. If it moves lower, as we have done previously, we get a sign and then we will sell calls against it. So yeah, I mean, we have plenty of room in our portfolio and plenty of buying power to look for trades today. And that's what we're going to do here in just a few minutes as the markets open. Let's talk about the market open here for just a second. I know that we're running a little bit longer than we usually do, but markets are pointing to, well, a mixed open. They're a little bit all over the place. I'm looking here at the NASDAQ futures in overnight trading. At first moving lower, then moving higher, pulling back a little bit, but right now pretty much around the unchanged mark. So looking for a flat opening. Kind of what we are hoping for today is a lower opening, because on a down day it's best to sell puts because you collect most premium there. So kind of hope that the markets are moving lower a little bit today so that we can load up our positions again, and that would be perfect. All right. Hey, if you would like to know how exactly we do this and what this strategy is all about, we'll link a few videos right here that you can take a look at. This will be a great place to start. And then, hey, have a great day and hope that you make lots of money trading.
Happy trading, everybody.
And happy birthday, Mark.